What's up, y'all? I'm back at y'all with another video. And on this semen retention journey, now we finna get into intentions. I gotta touch on different subjects. I gotta make sure that, you guys understand that intentions, especially when you want semen retention, just in general, on semen retention or not on semen retention, but I'm saying more on semen retention is because your energy is becoming to be at a much higher degree. Like every day you retain, and your aura and everything is just, building up inside of you. You're gonna feel like Goku eventually if you keep just moving up degrees every day, just keep retaining every single day. You're gonna just keep moving up degrees. So your intentions, it does matter the most. When you're doing stuff, make sure you have genuine intentions when you're on semen retention. Because, when you have bad intentions, that junk karma is gonna always come right back to hunt you. Because you are becoming a magnet to the universe when you on semen retention. So karma is gonna hit you 10 times harder. Like whether you like it or not. You guys need to understand that. So make sure that you have pure intentions when you are doing something, Say if you have a bad attitude towards something and it's your choice to be involved in that, if you have a bad attitude, just tell those people that, my attitude is not right now. I don't think I fit, this job or this purpose or whatever the case is, so they can understand. Because you being on semen retention, you having that, that high level energy and stuff like that, you can, with bad intentions, you can hurt others spiritually and physically and hurt yourself at that too. You can hurt yourself too. It's going to hurt yourself. So you got to make sure you have good intentions when you're on semen retention. And make sure you have a good agenda, when you're doing stuff. Make sure you carry out that good agenda. Make sure that, you're helping people or helping yourself or just doing something positive when you're on semen retention, Make sure you're eating much healthier. And to be honest, bro, it seems like my mind is just so clear. Like hardly nothing bother me when I'm on semen retention. It's just crazy. The more I just keep retaining, the more I'm having just a clear mindset. It's just crazy, bro. It's there's no greater feeling than having a clear mind. You know what I'm saying? Because you can think more and focus more on situations when your mind is clear. But yeah, make sure that you have good intentions when you want semen retention. Because, intentions determine your destiny. It's the same thing, even when it come down to when you listening to music. Say if you listen to music, but you listen to music to exercise. But that music might be negative. You know what I'm saying? And it's telling you to do stuff that you're not supposed to be doing, right? But it's motivating you to exercise. That don't mean once you stop listening to that music, you go up, just because you feel more masculine after you've done exercise, you just go up to someone to start something with someone just to beat them up or stuff like that because the music telling you to do that. That's not, no. Make sure you don't, make sure you have a strong mind. And semen retention is going to give you that strong mind. Whether it's through friends, because maybe some of your friends, they have bad intentions. Maybe some of your friends, they run in the streets and they want you to do something with them. They want you to go out and rob or go out and, do stuff they ain't got no business, sell drugs and stuff like that. Don't be a part of that, bro. Because, that come down to intentions. You doing that type of stuff, that stuff gonna get you in the worst place possible. Even dead. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that you have good intention when you want semen retention. Because your motive is going to it's gonna manifest whatever your energy towards that motive. So if you have a good motive, your motive is going to, the outcome of that, you know, is going to be positive. If you have a bad motive, the outcome of that is going to be negative. You know, and you don't want to deal with those negative forces, especially when you want semen retention, because that karma going to hit you 10 times harder. Because you basically trying to become one with the universe. So make sure your intentions are just pure. Make sure you're doing the right thing. I'm not going to say you're going to be a perfect person, but make sure you're doing the right thing, bro. Because this semen retention journey, it is spiritual. And it's going to help you out. Physically and spiritually and mentally. So make sure that you're doing things, you know, for the positive. And I know this too, like, I know it's kind of like a little off subject, but, you know, it's all semen retention. So, like, a lot of stuff don't bother me like it used to. You know, a lot of stuff just don't bother me since I have that clear mindset. Like, it just don't, you know. Even hate that I get, you know, if I get hate on here, on my YouTube, that junk don't bother me. I just go on about my day. Because I feel like, you know, that person, they casting out that negative energy, it's just going to come right back to them. I don't even got to say nothing to them. I don't even got to try to, like, defend myself, because I know that the universe is going to defend me when it comes down to that situation, you know, just in general. You know, I might defend myself in real life if somebody totally disrespect me. I ain't talking about that. I'm just saying, like, on YouTube, because when you're on YouTube, you're going to get some positive and you're going to get some negative feedback. You know, you're going to get people that love you and people that hate you. The people that hate me, you know, that junk don't even bother me since I've been on semen retention. I'm just still doing videos, still just pressing, still moving. You know what I'm saying? I just know for a fact that I have good intentions when I'm making these videos, because I am constantly helping men mentally. You know, not just with dealing with women, but just I'm trying to help men to deal with themselves and find out who they are as a person. You know, so their traumas in their past won't be on their mind, and they, you know, and these women that don't have no good intentions towards you, they won't be on their mind either. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm teaching guys to make sure to, you know, make sure your purpose fill your void. Don't try to, you know, let women fill your void, because you can't make a woman happy, and you're not gonna find true happiness when it comes down to, you know, dealing with women. Women can't make you happy. And I'm gonna probably end up making a video on that as well. But this one is strictly about, you know, mainly about intentions. You know, just make sure your intentions good when you're doing stuff. I'll make sure my intentions good by doing these videos. And I feel like, you know, I'm helping more men, you know, because more men, they're, you know, being drawn to my channel, and they notice that I got a lot of, you know, I got a lot of content that they can choose from and pick from, just in case they lose touch or they lose sight of, you know, what they really need to be doing in life. They can always come back to my page and visit and, you know, get that knowledge into getting back on track. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like making these videos, because they're gonna be here forever, you know. So you guys can always have something to, you know, to get certain stuff off your mind and just get that relief. You know what I'm saying? Some dudes, when they listen to me, you know, it helped them